Let's get into it. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome once more to the platform someone who you'll read lots about in the mainstream media, but they don't really like talking to her because that gets in the way of their good stories, that she's a Nazi and a white supremacist. But man, she came here almost a year ago and it caused a stir. It shook things up. I think it had a profound effect on political debate in this country. And it uncovered some things that we needed to have real conversations about. So for that reason, I think Kellie J. Keane-Mitchell, a.k.a. Posie Parker, is a significant figure in the recent political history of New Zealand, and she has been very much back in the headlines of late. And we'll deal with it first. I just want to say before we start, Kellie J., lovely to see you again. You're looking great by video link from your wee studio in Britain. I know you have named the person who has permanent name suppression in Britain, and you're allowed to do that in an outside jurisdiction. I don't want to tell you how to suck eggs. I don't want to end up in prison, and I don't want my media platform shut down. So you get what I'm saying, all right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think it is right to talk to you about what happened at that sentencing in the broader sense. And we had quite a debate on this. There's quite a debate going on in New Zealand. Obviously, you must have been disappointed in what the judge decided, and that Judith Dobson, the woman involved, feels that she hasn't had justice.
Well, I'm inclined to agree. I think it's horrendous. I think for a victim, it was such a savage attack. And I'm sure most of your viewers have seen it, but there is plenty of footage to show this person punching her repeatedly in the face. And this person is a man and not particularly old. And the victim is an older woman. So, it's horrendous. And I think for Judith, it's soul destroying that there is no justice. And I'm sure for women more broadly across New Zealand, to see an older woman being punched in the face repeatedly, and then this chap sort of walking away pretty much scot-free.
You would note, though, that Judge Grubb has a fondness for the wet bus ticket. He gave discharge without conviction, permanent name suppression to a 25-year-old who masturbated in front of a child in a public swimming pool last year.
Words like check and hard drive just spring to mind together in a sentence when I hear things like that. Look, we have similar sorts of poor justice in this country, in the UK. And I'm pretty sure they do in the United States of America. We just imprisoned somebody for stickers. Now, you may not agree what they put on the stickers, but he's been put in prison for stickers anyway.
No. What did the stickers say?
I think it was something about immigration. I don't know. I'm not here to defend whatever his message was. I'm just saying that in a free and liberal democracy, you really do have the right to say what the hell you want on a sticker without fearing prosecution and imprisonment. And at the same time, there's a man about to be sentenced next month who threatened to kill me. And he escaped prison the last time when he actually committed a violent assault because the judge didn't know which prison to send him to. So, justice all over the world is pretty weak when it comes to certain crimes, and other crimes, not so much. So on that level, I think it's terrible on an individual basis. And for women, I think it's terrible. But overall, I think sometimes you need these dismal failures in systems to show people just how broken they are. And I really hope that is one of those moments where people look at it and say, really, you can punch someone repeatedly in the face? Whatever sex you are and whatever sex your victim is, you shouldn't really be able to punch anybody repeatedly in the face and cause such injury and walk away with not even a slapped wrist. It's insane. So hopefully this sheds light on a very broken judicial system.
Yeah. Well, I would say other things were broken in the run-up to your visit in that day at Albert Park. And I asked yesterday people to say, was it really, who loaded the fist of that 20-year-old? And I would say it was our mainstream news media who painted you as a Nazi before you came here, didn't give you a right of reply. Our government, who I think basically white-handed you and encouraged authorities like customs to turn you over when they arrived in this country and made things very unpleasant for you. And I know that they hauled you out of the frying pan, but the New Zealand police in Albert Park did not intervene to stop the violence that occurred that day. And there were a number of our politicians, including the Green Party, who incited people to violence. So I say that 20-year-old was the symptom of the problem, not really the systemic problem that led to events of that day. I wonder how you felt when you saw one of the protagonists in that news hub, the people who blurred out you doing up your zipper, which was like a Zeke Heil salute. How did you feel when you heard the news that they are going under? They have 3 months left on air and they went woke and went broke.
Oh, I was so sad and shocked and sad and overjoyed, obviously. The point of news that we always know that news is somewhat biased because they're human beings and everybody, whether we like it or not, has some sort of bias. And I don't mean that in a crazy woke way that we all need to deal with our unconscious bias, but we are human beings and we are shaped by our experiences on this earth. And that's fine. But I thought legacy media, and clearly the reason that you have the platform is because you clearly couldn't work in that system anymore. But legacy media used to sort of con us into thinking it was investigative journalism and there would be two sides and they'd at least pretend not to have bias. And this particular place just got captured by activists. And it's wrong that whatever the business model of saying, let's get some interns in, let's let these 23-year-olds who've barely got a mortgage, let's let them shape our policies, it's just crazy. And it's never going to be good business. So I was, I think for New Zealand, I think not having sort of competition when it comes to legacy media is bad. But if they're all selling the same story, then, again, sometimes you have to break stuff before you can fix it.